We once again reiterate that attacks against civilians and civilian infrastructure violate international humanitarian law. We condemn all such attacks wherever they occur. They are unacceptable and must end immediately. As large-scale attacks against civilians persist and civilian casualties rise, the current diplomatic momentum is at risk of rapidly fading if the focus on the need to end the violence and engage in genuine peace talks is not maintained. We therefore urge all concerned to urgently de-escalate the situation and to redouble efforts to create conditions for inclusive diplomatic efforts towards a cessation of hostilities and a just peace. We renew the Secretary General's appeal for a full, immediate, and unconditional ceasefire. A ceasefire that results in a just, comprehensive, and sustainable peace in Ukraine, one that fully upholds Ukraine's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity, in line with the UN Charter, international law, and relevant UN resolutions. The United Nations remains ready to support all efforts to this end.
We are appalled by the suffering that Russia has inflicted on civilians, including a guard at the British Council Office who was among those injured and hospitalised. We're equally outraged by the damage these strikes caused to neighbouring EU delegation building. But if Russia thinks it can intimidate us, it is wrong. This will only strengthen UK and Western resolve to support Ukraine.
Russia must decide now to move toward peace. The leaders of Russia and Ukraine must agree to meet bilaterally. President Trump has warned of further economic measures the United States could take if Russia instead chooses to continue this war, measures which could have far-reaching impact on Russia's future economic prosperity. The United States calls on the Russian Federation to avoid these consequences by stopping the violence and engaging constructively to end the war.
Каждая такая трагедия сознательно раздувается для того, чтобы обвинить в гибели украинских граждан Россию, апеллировать к западным спонсорам и международным донорам, требовать введения новых санкций и выклянчивать новые поставки оружия. Так произошло и сегодня. На наших глазах при соучастии западных членов СБ жизни мирных жителей Украины превращаются в разменную монету, а человеческие страдания становятся средством достижения узкокорыстных внешнеполитических целей. Подобные тенденции, проявившиеся в частности в ходе недавнего российско-американского саммита на Аляске, до потери сна пугают не только режим Зеленского, но и его европейских покровителей. Поэтому сейчас они бросили все силы на то, чтобы пытаться отыграть достигнутые на Аляске позитивные понимания или хотя бы извратить их.
Let me be clear. These killings are deliberate acts of terror. It's informed decision taken by Moscow to continue its systematic campaign to terrorize civilians and extinguish any semblance of normal life. Peace requires both strengthening security assistance to Ukraine and intensifying pressure on Russia until it demonstrates a genuine readiness for negotiation in a good faith. As long as Moscow rejects peace initiatives, it's imperative to intensify diplomatic, economic, military pressure on Russia.
We will, of course, not be intimidated. Such blatant violations of international law and the inviolability of diplomatic premises only strengthen our resolve to stand with Ukraine and to stand with the Ukrainian people.